welcome back to the last part of web services. Um, we'll continue with the REST API. So third part would be implementing uh, REST along with our Express app. So let's do that. Um, First, I want to start with a metaphor with the last topic that we're going to discuss, which is REST. So, which is GraphQL. So, GraphQL is like a modern city with a modern train station. So, imagine this API as a train station where GraphQL is a modern and the rest is the old way of doing things, which is still true today because it's still the API that's widely used compared to GraphQL. But who knows, right? Because most of our train station today are still like an old way. So it's still useful because that's what we use today. So a REST, think of this REST API and implementing this like a train station. So the data is the passenger, or the data packet is the passenger, and the server is the conductor that provides a ticket like a header on that packet, and then it makes sure that you travel to your intended destination. And after that, there's a confirmation from the conductor that you will receive a ticket that you successfully arrived. So that's a metaphor for this. You can go to this station in various ways, by foot, by bridge, or by car. So that could be curl, it could be postman, it could be HTTP library. So that's a metaphor for this to easy to understand it better. So let's swap out the management of contacts to a separate contacts manager class for the sake of simplicity. So we keep the contacts manager in a map data structure, which is just stored in memory. We didn't persist yet. So in the next topic, we will discuss the data persistent, which is database, specifically uh, Squill, SQLite. So we will discuss that first, but we will also discuss not only relational database or NoSQL. Note that the manager is responsible for generating IDs when new contacts are created. For reasons of simplicity, we'll use a counter variable. So here, we use a counter variable that allow us to add add that is identified or added by one, and the second ID by two, and so on, so that it uniquely identify data that is subsequently being added. So that's the key here. It's like in database, the auto increment. Whenever you add data in a table, you automatically add subsequent ID on that, right? Implementing routes first will include the contact manager helper class and create an object instance of it. So here, we create that an object instance of that module that express class contacts manager, and then this constructor, and then we added this asynchronous operation add contact, and then plus plus, and then for get ID we just contact the get ID. And then for update contact, we use set and so on. So for delete, we use delete. We'll also use express.json, which is a middleware that ensures that the body of HTTP request if JSON data is parsed directly to JSON. This addition will simplify our access within the handlers. So here we add this express.json to simplify the middleware because we we will put the definition of individual routes here in the middle, like the get, the post, the delete, and the put. So express.json allows us to simplify it. So it allows to convert it to a JSON format. So remember, this API that we are creating is like a station where data packets come and go or requests, right, from different locations, different people, different way of going on the station or via curl post or other HTTP library. The post route API contacts is used to create new contacts. The body of the request containing the contact is available as JSON thanks to the express.json middleware. So we can pass the body of the request directly to the add contact method on contacts manager. So here's an example. So because of that express.json middleware, we were able to create this post. So here we created a route for this API slash contacts, and then we use the contact manager that we've created earlier as a separate file. As a return value, we get the ID under which the new contact was saved and which helps define the href property on the contact. So here we get the ID and then it helps define the href of the contact. So here we return a status 201 if this is the location, and then we send the contact. And here's the get method, which we will discuss later, but we'll continue with post first. We'll then set the appropriate status to 01 for created on the response object, as well as the location header that we create using the ID. So we also provide the location header that we get using the that ID. Finally, we'll send the entire response, including the contact, to the client. So here, we send the contact. So here we create this contact, request that body so that we can contain this as JSON, and then we send this entire thing if the client send this process. So imagine at a station where you have like a structured schedule and structured rules to be able to get to your destination. So for the client to get this response, they need to have this parameters, this API slash contacts, and then they need to process a post request to this station for them to get or to get to their expected destination, which is the post. So it's the same thing here. And then the get route is supposed to retrieve all contacts. Again, return the contacts manager, which returns an array of all the contacts. So here's the get contact. Here we get the array, the contacts manager, then get contacts, and then using the for each method, we also iterate over this array another href property to each contact. Remember, according to the principle to described earlier, a good practice is to link resources to each other. In this case, let's link each contact in the list of contacts. So here, I was asked to set up VPN. So here, we use the for each array to iterate on this contact. And then we use this to iterate on the ID, and then we response 200, and then we send the contacts. So it's almost the same with post. For this capability, for the put, we'll first use get contact method to check whether a contact was found for the given ID. If that's the case, we'll update by calling update contact and return status 200 to the client. So for here, if existing contact here, so if it's successful, we are able to get that using the contacts manager file. Then we will respond 200 and then we will send it. If, on the other hand, no contact was found for the given ID, we'll create a contact using the add contact method, then proceed as described above for the post route. That is, we'll set code 201 created and the location header and the response object and send the response to the client. So here, status 201, and then we use add contact. And then it's the same, we use location and then send. So you also do this for the delete. Again, we'll retrieve the ID where request.params ID next to the placeholder in the URL, then use it to call delete contact method on contact manager. So here for the delete, we use parse ints, request.params ID again, and then await contacts manager again, then delete contact. And then if it's successful, we respond 200. Note, we don't check, for example, whether the data is in JSON or whether the JSON has the correct structure. What's also missing is a detailed error handling process. So let's say there is a timeout that occurs while being loaded. For some reason, something happens on the customer's PC. Then we don't have a way to provide that error because like pop-up error because we're using a memory. We're not really persisting this to database. Additionally, um, connection failures in database can occur. That's why in the next topic we will discuss ORM to simplify the connection to the database, but those can be implemented in this implementation. Calling REST API, so here we will use curl. So uh, remember in the metaphor, we can go to the train via foot. So imagine this curl as uh, a way of going there by foot. So and pass localhost and pass the contact in JSON format as the body of the request. So the body is defined by the data parameter. We can use the request parameter to specify the HTTP method and the header parameter to specify the content type header, which we set the application value. So basically, we use this header, dash dash header, for creating contacts, and then the dash v to be verbose, and then this contact type header is set to for us to know or to set that we want an we will or want an JSON format data and retrieving all contacts. To retrieve all contacts, you can send a get request. So since curls by default do a get, we don't need much parameter here. We just need the URL here and then the dash v for it to be verbose. As you can see, the status is okay. And then we got the application.json and then the length and then the dates here. Retrieving individual contacts. To update individual contacts, we need to set put request to the URL of the relevant contact. In this case, we'll pass the contact information in JSON format via the data parameter when calling curl and the corresponding HTTP method via request dash dash request. So here, as you can see, I think these are incorrect. Let's see. Yes, it's correct. Oh, I see. Yeah. these are incorrect. So here is the correct put request via curl. So you can also do this via Postman. So think of Postman as like a advanced mobile app that allows you to get to your destination using to create like a ticket without going to the train station conductor. So it's fast. It's like an advanced way for getting the ticket into the train. So here, uh, request put is no image here. Data, first name, last name, email, and yeah, that's the structure. So the important here is the overview or the high level overview. Disadvantage of REST API slash authors for access to all authors. So we need to create these routes to access the specific resource. So just like a traditional train station where you need to go in multiple stopover before you get into your destination. So you need to go in multiple train. You need to buy a ticket in multiple conductor. REST fix that allows you to define the destination and then go there in the most efficient possible. So it allows you to get the or to struct to define the data that you want to be received from the client or define the destination you want to get and then go there in the most efficient way possible without any unnecessary bureaucracy by like another train station or another conductor. And again, guys, we were able to discuss the REST principles and GraphQL, and metaphor for that is like a station. So these APIs provide passenger or a data packet from different clients or different people. So it could come from people via put via curl. It could come from Google Chrome browser, from HTTP library, or from Postman mobile app. But the main thing is that these are the most useful APIs or train stations that are used in web application today. So again, thank you for watching, guys, and I appreciate your patience. And see you on the next video. Peace.